today we are going to be talking about the difference between active and passive voice. Now, the thing that you should be asking yourself whenever you look at a sentence and try to decide is it active voice or is it passive voice is who is really in charge here. Let me tell you what I mean. Whenever you have active voice, then you have the subject that is doing the action. So, for example, zombies chase me down the hallway. The zombies, they're the subject and they're doing the action. They're chasing me down the hallway. It's clear, it's action packed, and I mean, honestly, it's a little bit terrifying. However, if this same sentence were written in passive voice, the subject receives the action. So passive voice would sound like, I was chased down the hallway by zombies. This example, the subject, which would be the zombies, they're not doing the action here. We have it flip-flopped. So whenever you're looking at active and passive voice, you need to make sure that your subject is the one that's actually doing the action and they are at the beginning of the sentence. Now, why does active voice just slap harder? Number one, it's clearer. So you could say the teacher caught Jake texting, but passive voice sounds really weak. Jake was caught texting by the teacher. Also, it's more direct. So if you'll look at the pieces that are in active voice, they're shorter and more concise than the other sentences that are in passive voice. For example, Lana spilled the tea, but passive just sounds messy. The tea was spilled by Lana. Wait, was it an accident? Was it on purpose? It's really unclear here. Something else that you should note about active and passive voice is passive voice is technically not grammatically incorrect, but here's when you could potentially break out the passive voice and use it, and it would be better. Number one, when you really don't know who did the action. So, my phone was stolen. I have no idea who did it, but I'm mad. Number two, when you want to be vague on purpose. So, if you say something like, mistakes were made. That's just a classic excuse. Or number three, when the action matters more than the person. So a new rule was passed at school. It doesn't really matter who passed it, just the fact that it was passed is what's important here. Now, how do you spot passive voice? First thing that you should do is look for was or were plus a verb that looks like it is in the past. For example, the homework was forgotten by everyone. You'll spot that was and then a verb like forgotten, meaning in the past. So another example would be the test was failed by half the class. You have the word was and you have failed, which is in past tense. Then you want to check and make sure that the doer or the subject is actually there, or is it missing, or is it just awkwardly at the end? For example, a mysterious note was left on my desk by who? Secret admirer, a principal. Who left the note? So, this is my little trick that I like to use whenever I'm trying to spot passive voice. If you add by zombies after the verb and it makes sense, then it's passive. For example, the homework was forgotten by zombies. Yep, that would be passive. But the active fix would be everyone forgot their homework or zombies forgot their homework. So, how do we fix it? How do we fix it fast? Find who's doing the action, put them at the beginning of the sentence, and then drop any unnecessary was or were. So the phone was broken by Jake. I'm looking at my subject here. Jake did the breaking, so I'm putting it at the beginning of the sentence and say, Jake broke the phone. We don't need the word was there. We don't need that past tense verb was broken. So Jake broke the phone. The game was won by our team. Well, I know our team was the one doing the winning, so I'm going to move them to the front. Our team won the game. A decision was made. Sure, but for this particular example, I want to fix it and put it in active voice. So I'm going to name someone who made the decision. So I can say, the principal made a decision. Now let's do a little quick fix here. I want you to rewrite these sentences. They are in passive voice, but you're going to rewrite them in active voice. Number one, the homework was forgotten by everyone. Number two, the pizza was eaten by the class clown. And number three, a bad grade was given to Alex by the teacher. Remember what you learned to find the subject, make sure it is at the beginning, and then you want to eliminate that was and the past tense verb, and you want to make sure that your sentence is being concise. Pause the video here and try it on your own, and whenever you feel like you're ready, we will check your work on the next slide. Let's check your work. Number one, the homework was forgotten by everyone. I know that everyone is my subject. They are the ones that did the forgetting. So I'm going to move them to the front of the sentence and say, everyone forgot the homework. Number two, the pizza was eaten by the class clown. I know the class clown is the one that did the eating. So I'm moving the class clown to the front of the sentence, saying the class clown ate the pizza. Number three, a bad grade was given to Alex by the teacher. Well, who is the subject here? Who's the one giving the bad grade? That would be the teacher. So I'm moving the teacher to the front and saying the teacher gave Alex a bad grade. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes super simple, but it's important that you keep practicing before it gets super simple. So you've got this. Keep practicing, and you'll get better and better at identifying passive voice and switching it into active voice the more sentences that you try.